Welcome guys, this is Christopher again. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, kindly subscribe, like, hit the button below there for regular updates and make a comment on what I do here. So whatever you would want, I'll be able to sufficiently give you the required info, which is how to make a safari into Kenya. Fine, then you can enjoy, as I can give you updates and make you see the latest of the products of what you need so that you can enjoy and have the best of your experience here in Africa. Well, today I'm going to tell you about my experience and what brought me and gave me the passion to go into this, which I feel is important that you know. I have been a visa officer with the government of Kenya, with the immigration department. Fine. So, some years back, when I was a visa officer, I cleared and received a guest into this country at the international arrivals in Jomo Kenyatta International Airport here in Nairobi. And the gentleman was from the UK and he liked this country, so he was here. He was a returning visitor. So what happens is that when he came in here, he said he'd love this country and he'd like to do another holiday before going back. But he said before he left, he said if he likes this country, when he goes back to the UK, that he was going to make a decision to come to this country. But he wanted to be guided on how to get himself to get the proper documentation, to get a work permit so that he can stay in this country. In short, my friend loved this country. He fell in love with this country, and most of it because of tourism. So he told me, officer, I'd love to come and invest in this country, and I'd like to come and put up a tented camps in the Masai Mara and all other game reserves and places whereby he can bring in visitors to be coming here, tourists to be coming here to spend their holidays and enjoy the beauty of this country. So, as we speak right now, this friend of mine came, he put up his tented camps at the conservancies in the Masai Mara and Meru National Park. At the same time, in some places in Nanyuki and Laikipia. So, what am I saying here? Is that this is a very beautiful country and everybody looks at that wherever you are all over the world. I just want to assure you that it is possible that you come, and that if you get into this channel, you know and you are rest assured that you actually found the right person who doubles up as a tour agent, at the same time very experienced and knowledgeable about Kenya immigration, on how, what you require, on whichever level that you want to come here. So, in my stay working at the Moi International Airport in Mombasa as a visa officer at the same time, just like I did in Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi. The unique thing about Mombasa's International Airport is that the flights that would come then when I was there were charter flights that came from Europe that came direct into Mombasa. Among them includes Alitalia that would come from Italy, would have Iberia come from Spain, would land and bring so many tourists to that place to enjoy the coastal town of Mombasa and the rest, and the entire beach and all that and everything to do with this country. There are flights that came from CDG, Charles de Gaulle in France, and those would come all the way to come and bring visitors. Some would come from Germany. Generally, from Europe, we had direct flights, we had charter flights, which came with tourists who really love this country and who are in love with this country. It also brought along nesters who were coming to join ship. Guys who retired and they would leave their ship in Europe, in Norway. So as the ship comes all the way, so by the time it gets to Nairobi, it gets to the coast of Mombasa, they would fly in. So I would clear those couples who would be joining ship to proceed all the way down to South Africa, and they roam all over the world. So most of them would love this place, and whenever they would come, they would say, "Officer, this is my 5th time coming to this place, and I'd love to live in this country. So kindly guide me. How would we go about?" So I would guide them, and for sure they would make a lifetime decision and take their retirement, get their Class K permit to retire in this country. Some would want to make their investments here, so they would come and stay here in this country, having acquired a Class G investor permit. So this is all possible. This is one country that is a favorite destination for holiday making, for investment, and all other issues, for expatriate services, because we have people from all over the world. We have all the people from this world invest and live in this country. There is a history about the Swedish, the Germans, the British, Americans, Japanese, Chinese, and all those people from all over the world who have traces of origin and investments here, including India, that helped build the railway line that opened up to the East Africa region into the Africa that time when they landed. We trace history of the Portuguese who came and docked in Mombasa and Malindi on their way to the east to go in search for spices and everything else. So guys, this is what drives me in this passion for tourism. I did this because I thought it was patriotic of me to follow my passion and to get, and that's where the conjunction between tourism and immigration, and that's the more reason Mara Wonder Safaris offers you those services of tourism consultancy at the same time with immigration consultancy. So both what makes me good. It is so satisfying to see an investor come to this country, put in investment, employ people, enjoy, live here, and become part of this country as they integrate and bring in the rest of the world to this country to live and appreciate this country more. So guys, wherever you are, know that you are free. Just drop me a comment there. Make whatever inquiries from wherever you are, be you in Russia, in Alaska, in wherever, in Chile, all over the world, globally. Kenya is open to investment. Kenya is open to visitors. Kenya is open to most of the people who just want to come and enjoy, appreciate the tranquil, the breathtaking sceneries here, the sporting event, the very interesting people, friendly people who would make you have an experience of a lifetime. So guys, if you are new here, kindly subscribe, make yourself your comment, and just know that I'll be able to make for you safaris to wherever you want to go. Safaris to the bush, safari to the beach, safaris to the cultural attractions, safaris to geographical locations that you'd want to know about. And not just within Kenya alone, in entire East Africa, all the way to South Africa and Botswana and most of the places. So just know that Chris here, Christopher, would do for you all these safaris, because I have made a couple of friends and I have a huge and a wide network of people, partners who would make anything that you would want. If you want to take the slowest train, luxury train, to take you all the way from Pretoria to Namibia to Botswana to Zimbabwe, stop and get the breeze of the Victoria Falls as you watch the rainbow form and all that, all the way to Tanzania. I recommend to you Rovo's Rail, that gives you the best of cabin attractions, cabin accommodation, personalized concierge services and everything. So that is just among them, and many other products that are within this region. And remember, like I said, there is a very unique safari that you don't want to miss. That is going to Rwanda. Rwanda has the gorilla trek that would make a very unique safari as opposed to that which we've been used to. We know that the Masai Mara is actually our main selling point for Kenya. That wilderness, that heaven of a savanna, to see the bounty of wild animals and the wonder of the world that comes in August all the way to September, the great migration of the wildebeest across the Mara River. So remember, that is the peak season, and it becomes very costly because billionaires and holiday makers from all over the world make their bookings as early as possible. So if you want to be among them to go and participate in this attraction, to get the accommodation there, you better make your bookings as early as up to February. Otherwise, you may not get yourself accommodation there. But that does not mean you're not going to get yourself an opportunity to come to the Masai Mara. You can just come, get into Nairobi, book you in a good, proper accommodation around here, and then arrange for you a flying package from Wilson Airport here that would take you, would go join the battery of photographers to take all the photos and videos to capture the spectacular event that happens at the Mara. And then once you're done with that, you could do a balloon safari and do a game drive into the wilderness, check out everything else, appreciate and get to integrate and be with nature and the wild. And then after that, have a retreat, get back to the city and back to your accommodation. So while you're back here, you enjoy and you'll have had the best of quality experience. That which you watch at the National Geographic, that which you watch documented by BBC, Jonathan Scott and his partner about the Big Cat Diary, is what happens at the Mara. And you are able to be in that kind of environment so that you can get to feel and get to see the cats behave and how they move around, all those wild animals and everything. So this is just to let you know that I take this very seriously, and I do this with a lot of confidence because it is a passion. It is something that I really want to market and make sure that the whole world gets to hear and know about this country. Thank you to YouTube. YouTube has made it very possible for this so that I can be able to showcase and give everything to tell the world that this is what we have in this country as an ambassador, a tourism ambassador here. Sure. So make sure you come, make your comments, make whatever inquiries. I've gone out of my way to fly into Egypt, been into Cairo, and I've seen whatever happens there, and I've studied and seen how that country manages to exclusively sell that country to make it an attraction. So this, in the same breath, much as I'd gone to take to market our wares, the souvenirs that you will be able to take for sentimental attachment, the handicrafts, the beadwork done by the Maasai, when you get to go to the villages at the Mara to give back and to see how these people coexist and how they understand conservation and how they've been able to coexist with the wild over the thousands of years. And just to remind you, the Maasai people who live with the wild are real conservationists because, for one, they don't eat, they don't survive, they don't live on wild animals. So they just live alongside and live there. It is very interesting. You must come into the Mara, then you get to understand from them how the Maasai warrior would pass, as the rule goes that if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. They will just be crossing all over to the other side, and the lions go about their businesses there. So make a point of coming here and support me in this channel. Share as much as possible and help me tell the world that there is a heaven on earth, which is in Kenya, in the Masai Mara. Thank you so much. You're welcome.